Welcome to the family with
Officer Dave.
Tevin Pittman.
And Andy Brant Bernard.
Where's Josh?
No, Josh. I emailed him just in case he was still out of town with the StreamYard link, but he has not.
I just got a text from him. He will be there in a few minutes.
Oh, he's going to be in person?
Yes, apparently.
Oh, big shot. I'll be there when I can whenever I can fit it in.
Better get our talking done now.
Yeah, better get all your smoozing done now because it ain't going to happen in the future. Good. I'm glad he's on his way in. It all works out in the end. So what's the latest with you, Officer Dave?
Nada.
Not much.
Not much at all. Still picking them up and putting them down.
Officer Dave, I saw something by a police officer the other day, and I wanted to ask you about it because it seemed ridiculous. I was driving home, and at an intersection, there was has the lights where it has the left turn signals, everything, like a fully loaded intersection. There should be no need for a traffic cop.
Right.
But yet there was still a cop in a vest directing traffic that was just going along with the lights. Is that some sort of training thing, or do we just not understand that the stoplights work?
Was there only the one cop there?
Yeah.
Well, it could be that they had a traffic accident. Do you remember what city were you in?
I was in Minneapolis. There was no it was all completely normal. No excess traffic, nothing going on. It looked like just a typical thing.
Could have been a training thing, or it could have been that whoever she was working part-time for a business that's right there in that area.
Oh, okay.
They do that a lot. A lot of them will take a part-time job, like parking ramps or something, where they direct traffic coming out of the ramp.
Okay, because I wasn't sure if it was he was just trying to kill some time. His shift was almost over.
try to stay as low to the ground as possible.
Keep a low profile.
I would imagine that's probably the situation. I just, honest to God, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all. I mean it in a very good way, actually. Grand jury was convened in the killing of Ricky Cobb II, though not to render charging decision. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty. Mm-hmm. And she's a woman, but she could definitely be the twin sister of Jay Leno. And I mean that as a compliment. The hell you guys laugh? It's a compliment.
Well,
yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she looks like Jay Leno kind of.
Very much.
But they're charging the trooper in the death.
Oh, they are charging the trooper killed this Ricky Cobb II. Is that what they're saying?
Yep. And I don't know enough about it.
Yeah.
If it was to really say much. I think it was a pursuit, and then Ricky Cobb died as a result of the pursuit.
Oh, okay.
If I'm remembering it correctly.
So he didn't shoot him or strangle him or any of that stuff?
No, I think it was a crash that killed Ricky Cobb. I think. Don't take me to court on that one, but I think
I'm taking you to court.
Officer Dave said.
Tough guy, 1,600 miles away, aren't you?
Yeah, about 2,000 actually. Okay. So it all works out in the end. I want to run this by you guys. I brought this up on the morning show as well. Just kind of thinking about this on my walk this morning and all the rest of it. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I just wanted to bring it up to the two of you. Maybe I should wait till Josh gets here. You know what? I'll wait till Josh gets here because I'd like to hear his take on it as well. I was just kind of looking over why things are the way they are, why there's so much anger in the world. And I think in at least my case, I figured it out. And when Josh gets in, we'll talk more about that, if that's cool. I just ran across a headline that says, twins have been asleep, but history says things are about to happen.
Uh-oh.
Your Minnesota Twins are going to make some moves? Is that what Neil's trying to say?
I don't know, but I'd be curious as what history he Twins, at least from what I'm usually aware of, are notorious for not making a ton of moves in the
offseason. Wasn't that the talk that they kind of always wait until like January, February to start? Mm-hmm. And they do make a lot of pickups once spring training starts.
Right.
But
yeah. And I've heard that overall in the MLB this year, there's not as much movement in the season. Yeah. So
why do you think that is?
I don't know. I would say that if there's maybe not enough high end players, or I know there was a one-off season where all of the teams were kind of lowballing or not offering guys the contracts that they
Oh.
want. So it could be a situation similar to that.
I suppose I'm looking forward to it because camp opens what in like 2.5, 3 weeks, doesn't it?
February 14th, pitchers and catchers.
Pitchers and catchers on the 14th. So yeah, we've only got 5 days. So yeah, you're talking 19 days, less than 3 weeks away. It's a good sign that although there's no snow on the ground in Minnesota, so that's another good sign that winter's coming to an end, I guess, even though we're right in the heart of it. But pitchers and catchers, I hope the Twins impressed me last year. They did. There's no question about it. Won a first round of playoffs and then moved on. Things got a little tougher then, but they've lost a few major components in those victories, mostly pitching, correct?
Yeah, I think they lost at least one starting pitcher.
Sonny Gray is gone, right?
So,
Yep.
and he was, getting up there in age, so we don't, I guess, know how much he had left in the tank. But yeah, it's not a good sign when you're losing guys and not replacing them with talent.
And why do you think they did that? Why wouldn't they? I mean, I would assume that every team's trying to win the World Series every year, or is that not true?
Where I think Sonny would have demanded money that the Twins didn't want to spend.
Yeah, I
I
suppose
think
that's
that's
probably
the
true.
that's the big one on that one.
I suppose, but when you got to win, you got to win. They won in '87. They won in '91 because they went out and got some good players. Maybe they'll do that again this year. Keep adding things on as the season rolls through.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
trading
that's-
deadline isn't until July, so
Yeah,
it's,
right.
there's 7 months that stuff can keep going.
Mhm. Yeah, and it looks like Sonny Gray signed a 3-year deal with the St. Louis Cardinals for $75 million. So a little bit of a price tag on keeping him around.
God, that's how much Officer Dave makes.
Yeah,
$25 million a year to riding around in a cop car. That'd be pretty good.
I'm sitting here in my old ratty T-shirts.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's a wonderful thing though, because you got usually your Minnesota Vikings have a better year than they just had. They had a terrible year this year, and it's kind of nice when that football season, the NFL season, kind of butts up against the opening of spring training. It's basically overlapping now, isn't it? A little bit. Let's see. You said the 14th of February.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl is like the first weekend in February. So, but and
Yeah.
now the NFL is pretty much year round with all of their
Yes,
free
yes.
agency periods and combines and whatnot.
No question about it. Am I going to have to turn in the wintertime? I'm going to have to turn into a Timberwolves fan because I was never a Laker fan because I was only like 6 years old when they left, so I didn't know anything about basketball or any of the rest of it. I tried to become a Timberwolves fan. Was it 86 was their first year? 87?
89, wasn't it?
Or was it 89? Yeah, you're probably right. That's true. Because I forgot. I came back to Minnesota in 86, so yeah.
Yep, 89.
So 89 was their first year, and I was all fired up to watch them, but they've just never done anything that I can see. How do you deal with that, Tevin? And by the way, you got your name up as AJ, so that's good for.
Oh yeah, I identify as AJ today.
That's what you do now.
That's your new pronoun, Adrian.
He's got his new AJ pronoun.
I like the Minnesota Timberwolves team colors. So it's like, the Vikings, you got what, purple and gold.
Purple and gold.
That sort of thing. Timberwolves, midnight blue, frost white, aurora green, moonlight gray, and lake blue.
Oh, pardon me.
Very poetic team colors.
Those are poetic team colors, no question about it. What the hell? I don't know. It's just very, I think, this hasn't been the worst winter in Minnesota by far. There's no question about that. But to get through most winters in Minnesota, you got to have your Timberwolves, your hockey team, the Wild doing well, and then the Twins have to have a good spring training and good beginning to the season just to get through the winter.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
when those teams suck, it makes winter much longer.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and
Unfortunately.
I'm not even a huge hockey fan, but even just if they're good, it's nice to hear people talking about, they're at least happy that the Wild are doing well rather than having to complain about, snow, cold, and things like that.
Right.
Yeah, that is the escapism is much needed here in Minnesota.
Okay, I want you guys to do me a favor because it's almost 11 o'clock, almost 10 o'clock Central Time. And when when Josh gets here, I'll go. Okay, well, that's going to do it for the show, and we'll talk to you guys. We're going to get one of those deals.
Headphones off.
Take your headphones off.
I'm going to go sell all my stocks.
Exactly.
Buy bonds.
So is there a rival, like a Josh Arnold rival money talk guy? We just finished up with, your biggest rival on the show.
Oh, that guy.
Jim Cramer, maybe?
Jim Cramer. Yeah, that's right. He's a big investment.
There you go.
Jim Cramer was just here, Josh. I don't know what we're supposed to do with that whole situation.
He's money yells, though.
Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. But maybe I'll just run this by you guys, and then when Josh gets here, he could vote on it as well. I was taking my walk this morning, and I was thinking about life and how people are so angry right now. Everybody's pissed off about everything, and they're pissed off at everyone. And I'm thinking, how can we deal with that? And it's just it's getting to be too much. Everybody's just so hateful right now. I do believe that our public school system and our colleges teach people to hate other people. Let's not forget, the world's all about you. You're the most important thing. We have got to stop telling children that. That is a really bad idea. I was just thinking that whole situation. Now, as an example, and I brought this up to Tevin and AJ earlier this morning, but do you know anybody else? I have a friend named Michael Gelfand. There is no more liberal human being, no more far left human being than Mike Gelfand. I am also a very good friend of Mike Lindell's. There is nobody further right in America than Mike Lindell, right? How is it that I could be friends with both of them? Because I don't have to be right.
Because you don't give two shits about politics, and you let everybody be who they are.
Yeah, I wish everybody could get along. I think it'd be much better if we'd be a little more understanding that we're not all the same. We didn't have the same upbringing. We didn't come from the same place. Stop insisting people believe everything you believe, or you're so pissed off you can't even talk to them anymore.
Exactly. Yep.
It makes no sense to me. Well, and I think the reason for that was I said yesterday that kind of the way he's talking right now, that Dean Phillips sounds a lot like my mother, because she was a big-time Democrat. But it was back in the days when the Democratic and Republican parties were like good, solid people. At least they were supposed to be. Now they've become signs of enemies. Oh, my God, you're a Republican. Oh, my God, you're a Democrat. I can't like you. Well, be a little more understanding. How about that?
I can see that from... I've had some interactions with Mr. Phillips, and let's just say he didn't treat me with the best.
Really?
Yeah,
that can't happen. Did you pull him over or something?
He has one of his residences was in the city that I worked, and he got a little upset when his alarm went off, and I showed up, and it's like, your alarm's going off. This is what you pay us for,
Why would he get upset that you did your job?
I don't know. I just said, I'm sorry, as long as everything's good, I'm out of here. See you later.
But why would you get upset because the cops came to your house because they were supposed to come to your house?
That's how people are, Tom.
It just we have got to get away from this. You're the most important thing out there. Oh, my God, you're special. No, you're not. I'm not. You're not. You're not special. Settle down and be more accepting of other people's opinions. Like I said, you can't get further apart than Mike Gelfand and Mike Lindell.
No,
it's
100%.
Not possible. And they're both dear friends of mine. I think the world of both of them. What am I, crazy? Don't answer that, though.
You did take a baseball bat to the head.
I did take a baseball bat to the head when I was 11, so maybe that's why I'm thinking so off kilter. But I would like to get back to a situation someday. Oh, look who's here. Better late than never.
Show's over.
Typical.
Show's over already?
Okay, that's going to do it. We'll talk to you later. Everything's fantastic. No, Josh, we're just talking about I wish people would be more accepting of other people's. I used Mike Gelfand far left and Mike Lindell far right. They're both really good friends of mine. They're extremely left and extremely right. But somehow I can get along with both of them. I don't think I have any special gift or anything like that. I just don't take politics anywhere near as seriously as... But I didn't grow up in that area when our school system was telling everybody, and they're basically teaching everybody to hate one another, which makes me want to vomit. What do you think of that, Josh?
It's a good thing that you did not spend any time listening to the Minneapolis City Council over the last couple of days
Oh God.
debate how they should support Hamas against Israel.
Oh my God. The whole city's supposed to turn on Jews now.
Yes,
Oh, God.
it was. There was the call for ceasefire. Israel should cease fire so that they're not going to commit genocide in Gaza, and this resolution, which I saw debated, or I say resolution and amendments. I saw that debated Wednesday night, and yesterday morning it was voted on. The vote was the same as the debate on the amendments to this. 9 for this, 3 opposed, 1 abstained.
So Josh,
And it's
what
like-
do they want us to do? Seriously.
Well, they want us to recognize that that Israel is responsible for all the death and destruction in Gaza, and that Hamas is not responsible for anything that went on or they did in Israel.
Who was the first to attack?
Well, let's see. I do believe that was Hamas.
It was indeed. So how can they even think that?
It's Israel's fault.
You gonna attack
Why?
the Polacks next, Josh?
I didn't attack the
Just-
Polacks.
Just making sure. I want to make
Let's
sure.
go after the Polacks.
Listen, I still have my Stashu's jacket that Marlene Centers got me. It's got my name on it.
That's cool.
Has the big Polish eagle on the back.
Is it the two-headed eagle or is it the single-headed eagle?
It's the 2-headed eagle.
Very good.
It's a black. They used to call it a varsity jacket.
With
I'm proud.
the felt and the leather sleeves.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
those are
it's got the big gold eagle on the back,
Mm-hmm.
red letters, star shoes.
Beautiful.
Love that jacket. I have kept that. I have worn that proudly for decades.
Awesome.
Marlene and Hugh Centers were friends and clients of mine a long time ago. They have since sold star shoes, and it's now called Stanley's. But Stashu's is
Stash's Bar. Stash's Bar over on, what is that? It's Lowry in North
University
Minneapolis.
and Lowry.
Lowry
right
Avenue.
at the corner.
Yep, absolutely.
And you see, people got along there.
Yep.
You know,
Polacks
Okay,
get
so-
along with everybody. I'm just saying.
I have a question for you. What is the upside of America taking the side of Hamas?
There isn't one.
Not that I know
why
of.
do you want to support a terrorist organization that has basically destroyed that little area?
Yeah.
They are, look, I just don't understand why it's so easy to turn on Americans, because that's what they're doing basically. I mean, how many Hamas members live in America? How many Jews live in America?
Well, the number of Jews that live in America, I think, is about 7.5, maybe 8 million.
Right, 7.5 to 8
This
million.
2-ish%.
Over here, we'll give you this interesting statistic, and we'll just round these numbers up. There are about 16 million Jews in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Holocaust, we'll say in 1939, there were 16 million Jews in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There are 16 million Jews today.
Yep.
Could you please tell me how 16 million Jews control everything and are the source of all problems in the Middle East and the rest of the world?
Well, if they're like you, then I can understand there'd be trouble. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
All
but
right,
it's just-
there it is. Come right out.
I don't understand. I would like everyone to get along, obviously, everybody in the Middle East, but the Middle East has never gotten along, not for 1 minute that I know of. I'm not rooting.
Not for centuries, but I'm not here to solve those problems. But
No, you're right.
You talk about you have friends on the far left, you have friends on the far right. I don't
Yeah.
think that that's any different than Super Dave, or is that Tevin I see there?
Yep.
It is Devin. Yep.
That is me.
Tevin's got friends on the far right and the far left, and I do too.
I actually have
and
no
it's
friends on the far left. I refuse to be.
Oh, here's
only on the far
Yeah.
right.
Or
my
the far
goodness,
right.
okay.
I forget which side, but there's one that I don't.
There's one of them you don't like, but you don't know which one it is. Yes, good
But
move.
look at where you grew up, Tom.
Yes.
Just look at where you grew up. Look, and admittedly, you had a difficult family situation.
No doubt.
But with that, and where you grew up, everybody tried to get along. Did certain people
Yes.
not get along? Sure. Did you have fights or altercations when you were growing up? Sure. Did you shake hands when those were over? In all likelihood, yes.
Yes.
And today, and I think this is something that to me is started. I'll say sometime in the late '90s. Both with politics and with schools, everybody became victims, and there was a big push for different types of what I would call identity politics, and try to separate people out based on their differences, and taught to say, well, I'm a left-handed person, therefore anybody that's right-handed, I should be against. And on top of that, because I'm a left-handed person, I deserve special treatment.
That's
And
how
I'm
they
thinking,
believe.
well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm a left-handed person. When I went to, I'll say starting in high school, in elementary school, and even through junior high, everybody had a desk. But when it started coming into high school, the desk kind of disappeared, and you had a chair with a little arm on it. So I had to make accommodations because I was left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that I took a seat where there was a desk on one side. There were only right-handed armed chairs,
Yeah.
so I could write with my left hand there. So I made an accommodation. Now somebody could say, well, you took up 2 chairs. Okay, there was nobody sitting in the other chair, but I made that accommodation. I didn't cry out, oh my goodness, there are no left-handed chairs. I'm being discriminated against.
Well,
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
God,
But that's just a silly example. You learn to deal with certain issues to accommodate your situation.
yeah. And look, if I were in that classroom, I'd have gone home and I said, Mom, I don't know if I can get through this. There's a guy in our class that's both left-handed and a Jew. What am I going to do? Right?
Oh, on top of that, he wears glasses.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. No, I really wish. Are we being taught? And I'm asking everybody on the show, all 4 of you, are we being taught that being angry is a good thing? You should always be angry because everybody is against you and they're pissing you. Why do people want to be? I don't want to be that angry.
People want to just boycott something and be a part
Yeah.
of it. all the time.
Why?
I saw an article the other day where Pizza Hut is being boycotted because they have a branch over in Israel and they gave pizza to some
Oh,
soldiers. So now it's like you have to boycott Pizza Hut. And it's like it's always something.
It is.
People spend their entire lives just looking for a reason to be angry.
But
I think it's a generational thing. You know, me as a Gen Xer, I didn't.
Are you
grow up-
that young?
Yeah. Well, I'm. There's going to be a
You
war.
look so old.
Yeah, just wait.
yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. You're much bigger than I am.
Yeah.
That's unfair. When I say bigger, you're taller than I am. You look a lot stronger than I am. I'm just a weak.
It's all for
I'm
show.
a weak guy.
It's all for
Look
show.
at these arms compared to
It's
yours.
all for show.
Your arms are as big as my legs, for gosh sakes.
Now they're bigger.
But yeah, I mean that's the whole situation.
I'm just messing with you.
Super Dave, I love you. I love you dearly.
Super Dave, baby. Do people understand that they're being used? Their anger, they're upset, they're never happy. You're being used by all the people making big dough off of this. There are a lot. Everything that happens, somebody's making a lot of money from it. And if you fall for it and take one single position and can't move off it, you're being used by those very people.
Yeah, 100%. I think, like I was saying though, is that from my generation down, they're the ones that are being fed this or believing it, and all this BS, and they're the ones who are doing all it. Me, I couldn't care. I'm sitting 2 feet away from Josh. I got no problem with Josh at all. Tevin's right behind me. I'd rather be looking at Tevin than.
You'd rather be looking at
me,
Tevin than looking at me.
No.
Now, there you go. There you go. Tevin's got a
behind me.
big smile. Tevin just put on the blonde wig. There you go. See, I've got the blonde wig. I match up with the Polacks. There you go.
The Polacks. Here we go.
Andy, Andy's generation, my kids they're the ones who are believing this stuff. It's not us guys up here.
My kids don't buy it.
Well,
Andy doesn't buy it either.
Yeah, it really, of course, depends on the person.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, young people are just dumber. That's how it is.
I'm glad the youngest person said that.
That's
Yep, me too.
simply a fact.
Because I've probably said too much already to the show. So
Dumber, but also have the confidence as if
Yep.
they know everything. That's a bad combination to have.
Oh God, yeah, I remember
Dumb
being
and
in
overconfident.
high school and college, and being sure I knew everything, and everyone else was just a complete idiot, and that's just how teenagers are in the early 20s. They think they've got the entire world figured out, and anyone who disagrees with them must just be a moron.
Indeed.
100%.
No, I just, I think, you brought it up earlier, Josh, that I grew up very, very poor in North Minneapolis and all the rest of it, which sounds like, oh my God, and there were things about it that were just absolutely horrible. But I also witnessed something in my life that very, very few people have ever witnessed. When my father was taken out in a straitjacket out of our house, the back door of our house, and taken to the mental institution, I would say every single father in my neighborhood stepped up and said, Tommy, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate. We're going to keep, it's just your mom, I know, with all you kids. We'll keep an eye on the house for you. The family, other families in my neighborhood, particularly the fathers, stepped up and said, don't worry about this, Tom. Nobody's going to bother you. We'll take care of it. And I will never, ever forget how that felt.
There's something to that, Tom, that you just
wonderful.
said that triggered in my head.
Yeah.
There were fathers around at that point.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah.
Nowadays, there aren't any fathers around to raise the kids.
This is very true.
God, that's too bad. It was such a wonderful feeling to know that they actually cared.
Yep.
They actually cared about me, my family, my mother, my brothers, my sisters. That meant the world to me. And to this day, it means the world to me. So look how lucky I was. Yeah, we were dirt poor, and I mean poor as hell. My dad was nuts, put in an institution. But other people stepped up and said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We think the world.
There's something that you brought up, something additional. Your neighbors, people knew who their neighbors are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I've always stressed to my kids. Make sure you know who your neighbors are.
Yeah.
My daughter and son-in-law live in a an apartment building. I said, know who your neighbors are. Across the hall, next door to you. Say hi to your neighbors. My two sons. Meet your neighbors.
Yep.
It's you don't have to love them, but let them know who you are.
Yep, absolutely.
Dad had a saying that he got from his dad that you can get by without your family, but you can't get by without your neighbors.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like
There's always somebody looking out for you.
Yep.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, it's part of the reason we still live in the house that we live in. We've raised our family; they're all out on their own, and we thought about downsizing and doing the whole thing, but it's like our neighbors are so darn good that it's like I don't want to go. They're great people all around me, so it's like we'll hang out till the house gets paid off, and then we'll see, or we retire completely. So,
well, see, I have a big thing with my clients. Why do you want to move?
I want no one around me. It's so odd from what I just said. I know.
That's really
You
nice.
can't live without your neighbors, but
I want no
don't
one
want
around
any
me.
neighbors,
Exactly.
yeah.
But
So
no, I
just
grew
get
up with,
more property and just move further out.
yeah, more property, something to do outside all the time. I want
There
10,
are numerous. There's
10, 20
I'm not going to
acres.
say there's a shortage of farmers, but I'm sure that there are some people who would love to have you take over their farm.
I don't want to farm. Farming is a 7-day-a-week love affair. I want nothing to do with farming. I want woods and trees and maybe
I've got
water.
just the thing for you.
Here we go.
Just the thing for you. And this I thought was a super job for somebody who could do it. You'd be a fire watcher in any of the
Fire
mountain
towers,
areas.
right?
You go up in a fire tower.
A younger me may have considered it, but anymore, climbing a
Thank you.
a tall structure, not so much.
They have steps.
Yes, I know.
It's just you wind up.
They have steps. They have steps. I like that.
I got about halfway up the ski jump down by Bloomington, and it's like, this is high enough. I'm done.
Halfway up.
Yep.
I've gone all the way up.
I would have when I was a young man.
Thank you for calling me a young man. There you go.
Yes, you're my hero, Josh.
Yeah, no question about it. It is pretty special, though, thinking about that, and Andy will tell you this is absolutely true. At our house in Minnesota, we have 8 houses of neighbors, 3 on our, if you're looking at the house, 5 on our left side, 3 on our right side. The 5 houses to the left, 3 houses to the right. Very, very good friends. They watch out for one another. They watch out for everybody in the neighborhood. We got so lucky because I was kind of worried about that. Before we moved there, we lived on an island with a gate. So it was very hard for anybody to get to. Well, you couldn't get to our house unless we let you on to the island, right? Mm-hmm. So moving into particularly a townhouse with none of that, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be hideous. Turned out it was one of the best things ever happened to us. We have wonderful neighbors. They watch out for one another. They live their own lives, but then we get together about, what is it in the summertime, Andy, about every Friday night?
Yeah, weekly at least.
We get together weekly and we sit out front. Everybody brings their chairs over. These guys have a few glasses of wine, a couple bottles of beer, whatever, sit around and schmooze. Little THC drinks being passed around once in a while. People can get along if they want to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they not want to? Are they being told not to get along with other people?
I think that Andy's generation is working that way. Andy and Tevin's, they're, obviously Andy and Tevin grew up differently and can interact with people, but it's I look at a lot of my kids as friends and it's like, boy, you got a rude awakening coming for you when He's a crack.
Nice.
So
Well, you brought up something else about kids growing up. We're looking at a screen
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the interaction that a lot. I've seen this with my two older granddaughters. They interact instead of with each other. They interact with a screen.
true.
They
Very true.
do not. They communicate, not face to face or on the phone, voice to voice. They communicate
Snapchat or TikTok or whatever.
with a text. Everything is text, and you don't get through a text any
human interaction.
human interaction.
Right.
You can say in a lot of we'll say in a lot of social media, you can say anything you want with zero repercussion.
Right. Unless you, what was it? Threatened to blow up an airplane or something. That one kid
unless
did.
you Snapchat your friends.
Oh,
Like-
tell me that story.
So there was a kid that he was going, I believe he was flying to Spain or was leaving from Spain, going home from college, and he sent a private message to his like 2 or 3 of his friends that just said, "I'm on my way to blow up this plane. I'm part of
Oh
it."
God. Oh God.
And even though it was a message that was only sent to his 2 or 3 friends, Snapchat still monitors, and I'm sure it flagged whatever algorithm to say, hey, maybe we should maybe not let the potential Taliban person blow up this plane. And they scrambled 2 fighter jets to go escort the plane down, which cost, I think it was like $103,000. And so now the kid is potentially having to pay $120,000 in fees and fines, and probably go to jail.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So
Did he think that was funny? I mean,
yeah, he definitely thought it was funny. And I
okay.
mean, we all say some off-color things in the privacy of your group chat, but yeah, that's an expensive lesson to learn.
150,
Not to mention he's on the no-fly list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
He can't fly anymore either.
I would assume that he's probably got some sort of ban coming his way, but yeah,
Good luck dog paddling across the Atlantic.
Yeah, he's
boy.
he's an 18-year-old kid, so yeah, it was definitely a dumb attempt at humor, but I don't think you can really make that joke.
But I have a question for you. When you were 18, I would have never thought of doing something like that. At 18 years old, you're wiser than that, aren't you?
Nah,
Yeah,
probably
but yeah, and there's stuff that kids say where that you look back and you go, "Oh my gosh, if I were to say that now,
not. 100%.
absolutely just buried."
I suppose that's not a good call, though. Let's not pretend we're going to blow up the airplane. Not a good plan. Yeah, what the hell?
You don't go into a crowded building and yell fire. You don't
That's
get on the
exciting
plane.
for riot.
Yeah, you don't do that
that'll
type of
land you in
stuff.
jail.
Yep.
That'll be a good deal. So, anything happen in entertainment with you guys? The reason I'm bringing that up is because Catherine and I are on season 3, I believe now. It's Succession. You guys watch that show?
No, but I need to start. That's on the top of my
It's really
list.
good. You know who one of the executive producers is of that show?
Who's that?
Will Ferrell.
Really?
Huh.
How did Will Ferrell? I mean, I saw the whole, all the seasons.
Oh, you've seen it all?
I've seen it all.
It's good.
And
Good show.
there are some characters there that are extremely annoying.
I would say so, yes. I would say so.
If I was Brian Cox, the father, you've never seen his wife.
No.
I think but you see periodically. I think I'm not sure whether it's his ex-wife shows up or some of his previous wives will periodically show up. But his 3 kids, I would have some issues. I would say, man, you made a few mistakes bringing these kids up. And I'm not sure that any one of those 3 kids would be qualified to run any type of organization.
I would agree with completely. They have a massive ego, which they got from their father. He has Brian Cox is so good in that. What a prick. Oh, God. He's a terrible person. It's about a family of billionaires that are trying to make even more billions of dollars by doing all these different things. It's a very well done show, no
And
question.
I think it's supposed to be a takeoff either, um, I think, on the Redstone family.
Yeah.
But man, because it involves media. It is a very well done show.
It is.
The coloring on that show is very dark.
Yes, indeed. And so I did a little checking because Will Ferrell's one of the executive producers of the show. I checked. Will Ferrell's worth $160 million.
That's insane.
$160 million. His movies have done very well. He was okay on Saturday Night Live. I didn't think he was all that funny. But he doesn't do my kind of. He does that over the top, silly kind of humor.
Well, I think he does some physical comedy.
That's pretty good. Is it pretty good?
Yeah, I mean, he does stupid but physical comedy.
160 million.
Everything I've ever seen of him, he's the same character.
Yeah, right.
Exactly the same. And it's like when he was on Saturday Night Live, he did one thing the first time I saw the cheerleader thing.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then he did a religious piano player guy that I knew, a guy who was exactly like that. So I thought it was hilarious because it was literally, he had the bald wig on, the beard, and that was this guy, and he would do all the goofy stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is hilarious because it's this other guy that I know, and it's just. But other than that, I tried to watch I lasted about 15 minutes of Ricky Bobby. And, I liked the Lego movie because he was a completely different character.
Mm-hmm.
Anal retentive as all hell with his Legos, but it was phenomenal. I thought it was great.
Trevor would like to know if anyone has been watching The Fall of the House of Usher.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Is that a series?
Yep.
Yeah. So when you were talking about Succession and
gosh.
how it's like the kids and the billionaire, whatever, that's what I thought of. Fall of the House of Usher is phenomenal. Like
It is,
super, it's like just super dark, twisted some parts, but
That really is a series.
Yes.
It was not.
It was a book,
I mean,
right? Originally?
Yeah, I saw it. Well, it was a book.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Yep.
And I saw that as a movie
Vincent
when
Price.
I was very young, and I was freaked out.
See, I thought it was
yeah.
the singer guy.
Oh, Usher, yeah,
Yes, that Usher, yes.
I believe it's pronounced
There you
Usher.
go. Now all of a sudden, instead of Polish, you're Irish. Here we go. That's it.
Like that.
I am the Eastern European mutt. Yes,
The Eastern European mutt. Okay.
Yes. Quarter Polish, quarter German, quarter Bohemian, quarter Croatian. So yeah.
God, you and Catherine are pretty much the same setup.
Yep.
I think she's all four of those things.
She's not.
isn't she?
We don't have any Croatian in there.
I thought she said she was a little Croatian.
I don't believe.
Well, she's a
so.
gypsy. Does that count?
Gosh.
Just generic.
She's not in the room. There you go.
She's not even in the building. Tough guy when she's not in the building.
Yeah, I can just see that. I've seen the looks that she flashes you.
Oh, she gets them to me once in a while. There's no question. But yeah,
She,
Fall of the
Tom
House.
gets the look. There it is. Tom gets the look.
It's true. Another question I have for you guys is,
All of the house. I'm just still stunned that that's a series.
oh, it's phenomenal.
You guys should go back and see the movie.
It is a
Which
good movie too.
Probably dates back to the late 50s or early 60s.
Well, Vincent Price, it would have to be.
Oh my gosh, that movie, just even thinking of that, and particularly the end of the movie. Oh my gosh, the eyes in the coffin box.
Yep.
As they close the door in on the dungeon.
Ooh.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think I've seen that.
Oh, that is the
I remember seeing it maybe
freakiest
when I was a
movie.
kid or something.
Oh, that just. Oh, I get chills just even right now.
I think maybe I had or something like that.
Saw that at the Audubon Theater.
The Audubon Theater. There you go. I got to be honest with
Audubon,
you.
New Jersey.
My favorite Vincent Price moment, because I was a big fan of Vincent Price, Fall of the House of Usher, many of these great, scary films, all the rest of it. But the best line he ever delivered was on the album when he said, "The evil of the thriller." God, that was wonderful.
That was him, wasn't it?
That was Vincent Price, yep. Did a great job with that whole situation. No question about it. Now, we update to today where Taylor Swift is considering legal action after a porn deepfake of her hit the web. Is there anything you can do about that? If somebody's doing a deepfake of you doing porno, there's nothing you can do about it, is there?
Well, I mean, if someone is selling it and that person
her?
is in a jurisdiction that you have control over, for example, because there's a lot of countries, it's like, someone like that in rural Russia, like, no, nothing's going to happen to them.
No.
Good luck. But if someone is stupid enough to start doing that, from their house over in New Jersey, then yeah, you could definitely sue them for that.
Right.
But the world is just too big of a place to try to control.
Yeah, there's nothing that can be done about that, right? If somebody's doing a deep fake, as Andy said, like over in Russia or over in, pretty much anywhere in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Why? I think she can. I think that's a great thing to do. Whether she's able to succeed or not, but get that out there. Hey, I'm coming after you. If you're going to, besmirch my image, go after that person.
If you can get them, yeah.
Yeah, good luck finding them.
Yeah.
But you never know.
And I would do it extremely quietly because now, like, I never would have known there was a deep fake.
Yep.
Absolutely my point.
I don't care that there's a deep fake out there.
Yeah, I don't either. Do you think people will actually believe it's her?
No, she has such a wholesome reputation that people see that, even if it looked exactly like her, and it would be, oh no, I don't believe any of this.
Although this morning on the Tom Bernard podcast, Kristen Burt referred to John Hamm's package as an anaconda.
That was wild. What words just came out of your mouth?
Honest to God.
His anaconda is known around Hollywood.
I guess so. Apparently, he does not wear underwear. He will not wear underwear because I guess it doesn't show his package off as well when he's wearing underwear.
Is he known in Hollywood as being a good, relatively decent human being?
I think.
Because that comes off as some, like, to not wear underwear.
Yeah.
Especially when you know people are going to be kind of in your personal space doing fittings and stuff. Like, it comes off as kind of a power move and
Absolutely.
a red flag.
Or extreme insecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much true. No question about it.
My guess is he's got a pretty big dry cleaning bill.
Because of no underwear?
Yeah.
Although, wouldn't that, I would think that would hurt because the back of the zipper's in there. It's covered in it, all the rest of it. But it would be kind of irritating, it seems to me.
Yeah, over the course of my life, if it's been, bringing a duffel bag to change after the gym and I got to go straight to work and you'll forget underwear, it's the most uncomfortable thing to do is go commando about your day. Like, it's not, I couldn't imagine that's how I'm living.
Okay.
Nana showed up.
Jude, yeah.
Nana's.
Jude went a little nuts there.
Apparently Nana, there she is. She's looking in the window.
I could tell.
The dogs go berserk when Catherine walks in. I kind of like that, to be honest with you. I love it when the dog, Jude was knocking on the door this morning. Tevin will tell you. About 15 minutes left or half hour left to go on the show. Jude starts knocking on the door back there. He's like, claw, 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 claw. I love having animals and grandkids and little kids. And I love having that stuff around. I really do. They have the whole different world, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it forces you also to pay attention to some of the little things in life, like whether it's a grandkid getting excited about something very simple or, your dog being amused by a leaf. It kind of allows you to slow down a little bit and appreciate things.
No, I agree with you completely. Watching a dog go nuts over a leaf blowing through because Jude, if a leaf blows in the sidewalk, he will lose his mind. He literally thinks it's
that
alive.
on TikTok. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Make
Yeah,
sure
get
you
that
put
done.
that on TikTok. You become your dog becomes a star on TikTok.
That's pretty much the deal, isn't it? I don't know. Andy, do you know why it is that the little kids like me? Little kids really like me for some reason. I can't figure out what it is.
I guess we'll have to ask them once they can talk.
Well, yeah, once they get done. Because honest to God, his son Ethan, he and I are like best friends. It's hilarious. He comes over and he sees me and he gets a big smile and runs over and I just and it was natural. It wasn't like cultured or anything like that. I don't know what it is about. Is it because I have a kind of a weird voice? Maybe that's part of it.
Could
I
be.
know the Kentucky contingent would be saying, "Oh, you have the same mentality."
Well, possibly true. I'm as smart as a 2-year-old. That might be what it is.
And that's just that's the Kentucky. I'm out thinking Louisville.
Yep.
See, but that's
the Louisville route.
But that's another reason I can't look at the world like most angry people that are pissed off about everything. Man, if I got little kids, dogs, sit around doing a podcast, then do a second podcast, hang out with my family and my friends, there's not a whole lot wrong with my world. I got to be honest with you. I'd like to be pissed off at the world like everybody is, but I'm not. There's nothing I can do about the war in the Middle East, and I really wish we could do something about it. Russia's going after Taiwan. You got. China's going after Taiwan. Russia's going after Ukraine. I can't. Those are Eastern Hemisphere problems that I can't do anything about. So I'm gonna sit here with a dog, a little kid, my family, and live my life. I wish it would end, but there's nothing I can do about it. Right?
Right.
Right. Yeah, you're not solving any of the world's problems from your living room, no matter who you are.
No matter who you are. So, do you think people will ever learn to enjoy their lives again instead of being pissed off 24 hours a day?
I hope so.
I enjoy my life. I've got a great life.
I'm telling
You
you,
do.
I live to see Josh every Friday.
That's what it
Thank you very
is.
much. There we go, Super Dave.
Just
You
to
just
see
made
Josh.
my day.
Speaking of that, we got 5 minutes left. Anything you guys want to talk about to wrap it up? I mean, did
It's going
we
to be
miss
very
any?
interesting next week in my world, the world of investments.
Okay.
As the large technology companies report their earnings. So next week we have Microsoft, Google, Meta or Facebook, Apple and Amazon all report earnings next week. Microsoft, Google, also known as, Alphabet, known as Google, Meta, known as Facebook, you have hit all-time highs this week. So with their earnings and with their guidance, those stocks could pull back if their guidance is a little bit too conservative, as many large-scale investors might think. All the good news is priced in. My favorites, both Apple and Amazon, report next Thursday. I'm expecting that Apple will beat some of the numbers, issue conservative guidance, and the stock could pull back a little bit. Apple did get close to a recent high until there was announcement that they were going to be complying with the Europeans Union's new digital access law and allow, we'll say, side loading for different app manufacturers to offer their app stores outside of Apple's own app store, but there's some certain restrictions with that. Amazon, if Amazon talks a little bit more on AI and its positive impact on AWS and shows a few more customers and some growth, Amazon stock could start approaching its old highs, which is still below, but it has been moving up. And Amazon got a little positive news from ServiceNow's numbers. But the big thing this week is that FANG is back as Netflix beat the street, had more subscribers than had been expected. They've been named the king of streaming. And then because I know all you guys are big into worldwide entertainment raw,
Yes.
announced a 10-year deal with TKO Enterprises to air weekly now WWE Raw on Netflix. And then added to that, The Rock is now part of the board of TKO.
Oh, really?
The Rock is part of TKO.
I'll sleep better tonight.
Yep, and he's one of the highest earners in Hollywood.
I believe
The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, God, yes. He's huge.
And then just a little bit of a rumor, DraftKings could be doing a deal with Barstool Sports, and FanDuel's parent, Flutter, is going to be moving to the New York Stock Exchange next week.
Josh, you mentioned WWE.
WWE, Worldwide Entertainment, which is part of TKO Enterprises now.
And so there obviously, good news and, potentially going up. But then I saw that, I believe it was yesterday, the founder, Vince McMahon of WWE.
He's had continued problems because of his, I'll say he has to touch women.
His anaconda.
Women
No, actually,
all the time, and he's had some issues, but he has really been stepping away from the WWE and that the WWE and TKO.
Oh, okay. So
wasn't there
it'll affect it too much?
No, I don't think it'll affect it. The initial news brought TKO's stock from the high 70s up to about $95 a share. But that once it hit 95, there were a lot of profit takers stepped in, and the stock came down. TKO did announce their earnings today. Stock's trading currently around $87 a share.
I have a question.
Again, for those people, this is not a recommendation to buy or sell TKO or any of the other companies. Always check with your financial advisor before you invest, because these companies may or may not be suitable for you.
What are you looking at me for?
I'm not looking at you. I'm just moving my head
He's
around.
moving his head around, no question. Okay, we'll close the show with this because I didn't read the story. I saw the headline. Why was Vince McMahon, he's sued for pooping on a woman's head? Have you seen that story?
No.
Anybody? Andy?
I've heard enough.
No.
That is a hell of a headline. I saw that he was being sued for what they just said was sexual assault.
Yeah,
But
the sexual assault.
I did not see that included defecating on somebody's head.
That's why she's suing him, because the sexual assault was he pooped on her head. What's the message there? Is what I.
Couldn't you just move?
Well,
It's not a quick thing.
you would think so. You finding anything on it, Andy?
Oh my god! I'm just trying to. That's like, well, that I'd hate to be the I'll say the cleaner of that hotel room.
Oh God! Oh, can you even imagine some of the things that those people have to put up with?
Oh my goodness!
All
do
right.
not want that hotel room. I'm sorry.
Did man ever stayed in this hotel room? I don't want it.
Andy, you find anything?
Oh my goodness!
Yes, it sounds very fake, I have to say.
Oh, really? What does it say?
Yeah, like for example, she says that he had a bunch of sex toys named after WWE employees and wrestlers,
Oh God!
which he would use on her.
Oh God!
Yeah, I don't know.
But he is being sued for pooping on her. That's all I know.
Apparently.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness! He had a whole bunch of toys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's, everybody's got their own kink that they're into, but you got to draw the line somewhere. Like
Yeah,
pooping
you
on
do.
it, somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way too much for
Marv
me.
Albert, here we come.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. A great way to end the show, and we'll talk to you next week.